Donald Trump may no longer be president, but that doesn't mean we can no longer concern ourselves with what he has to say. That's in part because he still retains a massive following. More significantly, there's a decent chance he could return to the White House in 2024. He's currently the bookies' favourite to win in 2 years' time. That all means there were a few eyebrows raised by the former president's recent statements about Vladimir Putin. He made them to podcasters Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.
Mr. President, in the last 24 hours, we know Russia has said that they are recognizing 2 breakaway regions of Ukraine. And now this White House is stating that this is an invasion. That's a strong word. What went wrong here? What has the current occupant of the Oval Office done that he could have done differently?
Well, what went wrong was a rigged election. And what went wrong is a candidate that shouldn't be there and a man that has no concept of what he's doing. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of the Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. There were more army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace all right. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's very savvy. I know him very well, very, very well. By the way, this never would have happened with us. Had I been in office, not even thinkable. This would never have happened. But here's a guy that says, I'm going to declare a big portion of Ukraine independent. He used the word independent. And we're going to go out and we're going to go in and we're going to help keep peace. You got to say that's pretty savvy. And you know what the response was from Biden? There was no response. They didn't have one for that. Now it's very sad.
That was Donald Trump calling Putin's recognition of the independence of parts of Ukraine savvy and genius. It's got a lot of Trump's critics worrying what would happen in Eastern Europe if Trump were to get re-elected.
There's a few things with Trump takes on Russia and Ukraine that I don't really understand. People are saying Putin can't wait for Trump to get back in the White House. To do what? I don't quite get it. And people are saying, oh, well, when Trump's there, he'll help Putin. They took Crimea in 2014 under the Democrats, and now they're playing silly buggers again. They went to war against Georgia in 2008. That certainly wasn't under Donald Trump. There's this weird elevation. I think it's because of social media. People seem to care more about stupid remarks like what he's made there. People think that's more evidence of a sort of political sort of reality than actual things that happen, which is, well, Putin's doing it right now, the Democrat in the White House. I'm not blaming Biden. I don't think it would make much difference whoever's in the White House. I think probably Putin would be a little bit more inhibited with Trump because the guy's just so crazy. And I think the argument against Trump winning the next election after 2024 is that Christ, you're in dangerous territory when you're looking at sort of iconoclasts and mavericks, and they're the people that determine certain outcomes. And Christ, two of the world's 2 big nuclear powers, Putin and Trump, that would be dangerous. In terms of he gives crazy interviews, Michael, and often they don't have any material consequences. Sometimes they do, increase in racist attacks or whatever. But when he was talking Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, we had the press call saying that this is going to lead to a nuclear conflict between the US and North Korea. It meant nothing of the sort. I think this is just too many people online. And Trump knows it, Michael, and this is what he lives for. And expect a lot more of this ahead of the midterms, by the way, in November.
Obviously we have seen him in power for 4 years, so it's not a complete mystery. But there are risks that he poses that another president doesn't. Now, I think probably Putin would be less likely to have done this if Trump was president, as you say, because he's so unpredictable. And Biden is quite predictable. So I think Putin sort of knew exactly what the response would be from the West, and he's sort of willing to take it. He's willing to take a few sanctions because he sees this as in his vital national security interests. But with Trump, I think the danger is the opposite one to what these guys are saying, which is, oh, he loves Putin, so he's going to let Putin get whatever he wants. I think potentially he could give Putin the impression that it's okay for him to do something, potentially by explicitly saying it's okay to do that, and then responding in a very rash way. And the thing that really worries me if he were to get back in power when it comes to foreign policy is the case of Qasem Soleimani. Because what happened there, as far as I understand it, is what you get as an American president is when there is a a foreign policy problem that the president is deemed to have to solve. You have the security services who come up with a sort of menu of what you can do. And at the top of the menu, there is, or the bottom, wherever they put it in the menu, there's a very extreme option, and it goes from sort of extreme to incredibly moderate, and the president normally chooses somewhere in the middle. But they never choose the extreme one. So you can imagine maybe Biden got a menu that sort of said one option is nuking Moscow, or one option is sending troops to Ukraine. And because they know, Biden's going to go for the moderate one, but it could be the case that Trump, sometimes he'll push the don't do anything button. Why do we care about Ukraine? And I'm worried that sometimes he'll push the sort of like, yeah, let's send troops in. And then that's when you've got your World War III. So I'm worried about him choosing from that menu.